Hey, good evening and welcome to the Self Checkout Show. It's your boy, Pastor Will, along with the doctor and the coach in the building tonight. Of course, Dr. Nancy Murphy and Coach Crystal Love are here, along with our special guest tonight, the one and only Pastor Stephen J. Thurston, who is with us tonight, and we are super glad to have him to be with us tonight. All right, y'all, look, I can't do this regularly like I do. I got to kill this music because we got too much to do. Let me kill this. We love you, Jamil, but we got stuff to do tonight. Good evening, everybody. Those who are watching by Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching, thank you. We appreciate your presence on the show tonight. Please, by all means, as we do every week, please like and share. Like and share. Like and share. Tag somebody in the comments. Tag 3, 4, 5 people because we want this in as many ears as possible. Now, not to begin on a sad note, but I must make mention that the Chicago gospel community, Chicago at large, has lost a great man in that of Dante Hall, who we heard yesterday passed away suddenly. He is the proprietor, or was the proprietor of Donnie's Place. I believe that's in Maywood. And
Bellwood now.
Bellwood. And I, way back in the day when I was in my community choir days, we would all end up in the same places, same concerts. He was a great friend to all who knew him. We are definitely praying for his mom, his brother Lance, the Voices of Joy, Donald Buster, the city at large. Yes. We are praying because so many people were connected to him and hurt by this loss. So please know that we are praying for one another in the loss of the great Dante Hall, including Donald Lawrence and company. He was a lead singer for that group that Donald has. So we're praying for him as well. All right. Dr. Nancy.
Hello.
What are we on this coming Saturday?
We are completing chapter 7 and jumping into hopefully chapters 8 and 9.
8 and 9. I had to miss Saturday because I had to run into work, but I heard it was great. So awesome.
I was at work.
Crossed. I'll be back.
I was at work. I didn't miss it.
Club on Saturday. What you say?
I was at work. I didn't miss it.
Oh. Okay. Well, all right. I'm not.
We want more from you.
Let me explain. Where I work, we can't have phones
with us
at break or at lunch.
Understandable.
So, Dr. Thursday, you see what I got to deal with?
He wants those numbers right, so he can't be on the phone.
Yeah, because he is.
No, they want. Hey, they want to make sure we ain't taking pictures of account numbers.
Right,
and stuff.
Right. We need those numbers to be right.
Yeah.
Yo, they like nope. And when you walk onto our floor, you have to pass security, and every person that passes, they like, you ain't got no phone, and we have to hold our hands up like this.
Do you have to lock it up?
Well, it's in our lockers.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what it is with that. So I will hopefully be back on this Saturday. If I'm at work, okay?
Okay.
We understand. Okay. It's been phenomenal. It's been great. And so, I'm excited. May I Borrow a Cup of Sugar by none other than the Dr. Linda Stennis, my apostle.
The title of that book tore you up yesterday, didn't it?
I didn't ask you to go into all
that.
I'll tell you about it
later. All right, guys. So join us Saturday morning. at 9:00. She will post the Zoom link for it probably Friday, so that you can click in. If you have the book by Dr. Linda, May I Borrow a Cup of Sugar? Then everybody is more than welcome to join that Zoom. Even if you don't have the book, we can let you know. Dr. Nancy, the readers will let you know what it's about. It's really easy, and it's something that has been blessing the people every Saturday morning. So you want to be a part of that book club. I can't wait.
We actually have one book available. That's the last one. I think that we have gone through about 20, 25 books already now.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so that's Saturday morning at 9:00, and next week we will not be on Monday night. We will be on Tuesday night.
Why?
Because it's my birthday. Right?
Not just your birthday, though. It's your 50th birthday.
50th birthday. Next Tuesday. I will be 50. And y'all know me. And y'all know the creeps. We celebrating all month.
We are. I'm wearing my unicorn outfit.
No, we not.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not doing that.
We celebrating. We celebrating all month.
Celebrate, but we're gonna celebrate in regular clothes.
That's
not fun.
Well, you have to. It's the we. It's the we.
Y'all celebrating regular clothes.
Okay.
I'm celebrating my brother.
Pastor Martise, get your what? You know what? I'm finna block you. I was just gonna ask you to do something. Now I'm gonna block you. See, Pastor Thurston, these are the type of friends that I have. You see how they do?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Charlotte. Glad to have you with us tonight. Good evening to my brother, Pastor Martise. So, yes, we will be on next Tuesday night at 7:00, which Tuesday is the actual day of my birth. And we're going to have many, many people to fall through just to say, hey, happy birthday, and leave a brother gift or something, you know. Hey, I'm just saying, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. So Tammy Joseph is on with us tonight. Our sister. How are you, Tammy? Tell Maddie I said, hey. And we'll too. Whatever. I'm not listening to you. All right, so next Tuesday night at 7 p.m., a special birthday show just for yours truly. So join us next week. And ladies and gentlemen, as we dive into our topic for tonight, I love everyone except you. We're going to talk about that tonight. And we are so happy to have Pastor Stephen Thurston with us tonight. Check out show. Welcome. Throw some hearts up on YouTube and on Facebook. All right. Pastor Martise said he is praying for you on this show. Hey, thank you, sir. You get what you get with us, man. This is just who we are. We love to have fun, but we are in the midst of us having fun. We're talking about something serious tonight. And Pastor Thurston, for those who may not know, won't you introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are, where you're from?
Sure. I'm Stephen Thurston II here in Chicago. I currently serve as the interim pastor of the Cove Chicago, a church that has been pastored by A. Thurston for the past 90 years. Great-grandfather, grandfather, dad and I pastored together. I retired. He decided to retire last year and asked me to come out of retirement. And so I'm back sitting in the seat.
We are glad. Yo, I used to watch your dad on TV.
Yes, sir.
I used to watch him on TV, and he was, and I believe still is, one of America's greatest preachers.
Thanks.
That man can say it. Okay. So he can say it, Doc. I remember being younger. Listen, I don't remember. Maybe it was on a Saturday. I don't know what day.
Saturday night.
Saturday.
Channel 25.
Yeah, because back in the day, I used to listen to Hours of Salvation on with Pastor Campbell on the radio, right? And then we had Fellowship. I think they came on at 9:30, 9 or 9:30. Pastor Thurston was somewhere in there.
Yep.
But such a great, great man. And I didn't know that it was your grandfather and great grandfather all those years. And so you are the fourth generation to pastor that church.
That's correct, sir.
And the name of the church is now called what?
The Cove. We just shortened it. Yeah,
because it was New Covenant, was it?
Yep, New Covenant Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay, all right. Well, that's who you are. A great man you are. And I'll tell you, initially, before I really knew who you were, I followed you because of the name. The name carries weight.
Gotcha.
And wait, my mama is here. Hey, mama.
Hey, mama.
Love you.
Hey.
You. Your name, the Thurston name, carries weight in Chicago and in America. And I said, well, I loved his dad, so I know that he's probably a chip off the old block. And oh boy, was I right?
You were right.
I was right. I said, yep, he just like his daddy, and that's a good thing, though.
Yes, sir.
And you do a lot. Let's talk about your vocation. What do you do outside of the church?
Outside of the church, I have a consulting company where I work with churches, nonprofits, municipalities, universities around change management, project management, leadership development. So helping those institutions, organizations to streamline what they do. Prior to that work, I've held real estate for years. I've owned men's clothing stores, high-end men's clothing stores, women's shoe stores. Yeah, all of that. Invested in the cannabis piece before it became popular and all of that. So back in the day, yeah, just had my hand in a bunch of different pieces. I also do a lot of policy work on consult in that space too.
Dr. Nancy smiled when you said women's shoe store. I noticed that. I saw you.
Business.
Coach, did you catch that? I saw it.
I saw it. She felt something. I don't have the store no more.
That's
so
right.
Don't feel it.
So it's safe to assume then that you work with all kinds of people, all types of people, probably every race, creed, color,
Yes, sir.
which would include, dare I say, what we now call the LGBTQ plus community. Would that be accurate?
That would be very accurate, man. Yeah.
Okay.
People from that community are in all walks of life, all professions. They are a part of us. And so, yes, I do work with them.
Okay. I'm going to read. You guys remember that's watching. Our topic tonight is I love everyone except you. And the reason I chose that topic is because coming up in the church, I was able to witness a lot and see a lot and hear a lot. And one of the things that I have witnessed is a masked hatred for gay and lesbian people. Let me say it that way. It's for some, it's not open. It's not open hatred. People know how to mask it, how to mask their hatred for certain groups of people. And my issue is that if we are supposed to be Christians, then we should be showing the love of God to all people, not everyone except them, which is why I titled this show that tonight. And I made mention some time ago that a few years ago, Pastor Reggie Royal in Lifeline Church had T-shirts made, and they all went to Gay Pride in Boys Town, Chicago, just to love people, not to participate, not to drink and all that kind of stuff. They just went to love people, to hug people, you know, to show them love that many of them probably may have never encountered.
Yeah.
Which was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yep, that's it, mama. Undercover hatred. That's exactly what it is. So here we are, this coming Sunday. There is a gospel brunch that will have drag queens. I'm assuming that they'll be performing the songs. I've been to drag shows before, so that's in my head, that's what I see happening. Now, I'm going to read, Pastor Thurston, I'm going to read your post from when you posted this flyer. Pastor Thurston says, because the church isn't often seen as a safe space for members of the Q plus community, watch this, y'all. Listen to this. He says, we're moving beyond the four walls of the building to go into spaces that are more neutral ground to show the love of Christ. I'll stop there. So I'm going to ask Pastor Thurston, and ladies, if you have something, you can jump in here also. Why isn't the church seen as a safe space for members of that community?
In my conversations with people from that Q plus community, they have often cited their lived experience. And I want to start by saying lived experience always trumps your ideas, your ideology, your assumptions. So we must make it clear that what I've experienced in my life is going to outweigh anything you think, dream, or imagine because you haven't lived it. And so in talking to individuals from this community, they would share with me their lived experiences, their stories of having the Bible weaponized against them, being told that they're going to hell, God hates them, they're not made in God's image. People would want to have prayer, come down to the altar for prayer, but the prayer intercessors and the prayer warriors wouldn't hold their hand, wouldn't touch them, didn't want to pray for them. Wow. All kind of wicked and vile things that were being said to them by people who proposed to ascribe to following Jesus. And so there was this contradiction that they would see there, found the church not to be a safe space, and have decided, I love Jesus, but I hate church and church people. So I'll never step foot in a sacred space again like that.
Why is the Cove considered a safe space for this community?
When we had the Black Lives Matter piece that blew up, we would hear white people and people that hated Black people say, well, all lives matter. Our response back was, no, y'all kicking our ass right now. Y'all are killing us. And so right now, we know all lives matter, but we're going to focus on these Black lives. And so in my engagement with people from the Q plus community, from all sectors of it, I say Q plus so I don't have to say all the alphabet. So in case somebody's heard that terminology, I want you to know why I'm using that phraseology. And I was given stories about how people were being killed and murdered. We're part of Q plus community. Their bodies littered dumpsters in our communities, simply because people hated them. I was invited to a prayer vigil with other clergy, ecumenical gathering in the South Shore area several months ago because some 2 Q plus young men were run over in the middle of the street, never bothering anybody. They just happened to be the same gender, loving individuals, and they were run over. And so there was a prayer vigil for that. Hearing these stories that don't make it into the mainstream news.
Yeah.
People being unalived, people killing themselves. People not gaining access to housing, to medical assistance, things of that nature because they're same gender loving. I said, no, we got to speak up. My family, my church has been in the fight for social justice for years. Only 3 churches in the civil rights movement allowed Black people, allowed Dr. King to come and preach. My grandfather was a friend of Dr. King. He stood in the pulpit of New Covenant many times. When he and Ms. King moved to the city, the children stayed with my grandparents, so my father and his siblings, so that they wouldn't be murdered if Dr. King and Mrs. King were murdered. So we're very entrenched in the social justice movement, and this is the movement of this era. People who are being discriminated against and marginalized against because of their identity, their sexual identity. And so I said, no, we're people of privilege. And whenever you have privilege, it's not a sin to be privileged, but it is a sin if you don't use that privilege to benefit somebody who's being marginalized. And so because this group is under so much hate and strain and suffering, we said we're going to lift our voice and we're going to fight for their rights, for them to have access to healthcare, to housing, and access to the church, to be in beloved community around people that love Jesus and will love them and will see them as human beings. Because anytime you devalue the life of an individual, you dehumanize them and you demonize them, it makes it easier for you to justify in your mind to do harm to them. Same thing white people to do to us, Black people are now doing to other people within our culture. And we have to stop this. And so as a straight identified man who has a platform, who has power, I said, I'm going to raise my voice, and our church is going to raise its collective voice to let these individuals know, I don't give a shit about no other church in Chicago, but I know this one right here, you're going to feel safe here. You're going to feel love here. We're going to see you as being created in the image of God as a human being. And we're going to love on you, and we're going to provide you resources. We don't just preach prophetic messages at New Covenant. We also provide prophetic maps. We give people access to the resources that they need, hold them by their hand, and walk them into their future and their destiny.
I think that's super. I think that's what ministry is.
Should be.
Yeah.
What should be. So if in fact we all read the same Bible and serve the same Christ, then why are you and your church receiving so much backlash, so much hatred for going to this event this coming Sunday?
There are a couple of components there. Number one, reading is fundamental, but comprehension is critical. And number one, a lot of people don't know how to read. Illiteracy is rampant in our community, and we don't want to own that.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, they didn't read the post, because we also live in a clickbait space and just quick clips. So we read stuff and then read into it because we don't know how to read. We just assume. Mm-hmm. And you have people who don't recognize that all of us are white theologically. It's just a matter of how white you're going to stay. Whoa. I and my church have moved into a space of deconstruction and decolonizing. And so all it is, we hate gay people or love the sinner, hate the sin. That's connected to white evangelical fundamentalism. And the supremacy is at the root of all that they do. They just cloak it in Jesus and Christ and church, but it's bullshit. Because when you peel back the layers, it's about control and it's about supremacy. Don't believe me? Look at the PACs that they fund, the political action committees. Look at the policies they support. Look at the politicians they push. It don't do nothing but hurt people that are in marginalized communities. Unless you're white, male, and cisgendered, their religion and their Jesus ain't for you. Mm-hmm. And that has translated into our churches. We go to their schools. We go to Moody. And I can run down the list of all of those schools that preach and present Jesus and the Bible from a particular perspective that's rooted in supremacy, power, and control. And so anybody who's not like us, that doesn't fit our model, we are going to demonize them, and we're going to weaponize scripture to justify our dehumanization and demonization of these other people.
I think that just about everybody probably has at least one gay person mm-hmm. in their church mm-hmm. or in their family. Mm-hmm. And I stop right there. And some even treat them differently.
Yes.
But some don't. We will treat our own as if nothing, we see nothing. But God forbid they come to my church and act a certain way or look a certain way, or because people are sadly, and I saw a video, I won't name any names, I saw a video of a well-known pastor. There was a drag queen, let's just say it for what it is, mm-hmm. who was in the pew of his church, and he stopped everything. And apparently he had known this person from before, and he said to the individual, I told you don't come in here like that. Mm-hmm. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Mm-hmm. And proceeded, Stephen, to put that individual out of the building.
Yeah.
What's your response to that?
I don't think we recognize the hurt and the harm that we cause people in major ways and minor ways that can turn them away from Christ, turn them away from the church, turn them away from life. Because again, the stats and the data prove that when people from the Q plus community receive that level of hate and mistreatment, they're more prone to suicidal ideation and then acting out and taking their own lives. And so when I saw that, when I heard about it, my heart went out to that individual because I don't know what happened in the aftermath to that person's psyche, to that person's life. And just, you just never know how you're going to hurt somebody or damage somebody and where people are in life. Many of us are just hanging on by a thread. And so just be kind to people because you don't know where people are.
As I forestated, you have well, as of late, you and I together. Well, we got jumped on a little bit in the old comments of yours. And I typically don't go back and forth with folks because I'm real busy.
Yes.
Crystal,
You busy?
I'm busy.
Yeah.
I got a job. But this one, I said, let me engage him a little bit because I wanted him to understand where I was coming from. Because for those who don't know, in regards to this brunch that's coming up this Sunday, there's a lot of people agree with it, a lot of people support it, a lot of people don't. Fine, you have your opinion. But Stephen and I'm okay with calling you Stephen.
Oh yeah, you good. You're fine, man.
We received some personal hatred, more he than I, because the individual, I said to him, hey, we're supposed to be Christians. We're supposed to love people. We're supposed to go where they are because truth of the matter, majority of them will never walk through your church doors.
Never.
So who's going to minister to them? Who's going to witness to them? Who's going to say, I love you? Who's going to hug them?
Yeah.
So, and then I got disrespected and he got disrespected. And I'm like, bro, let me bow out because I'll be to say something and I don't want my pastors to see it.
Because he gets mad.
I get good mad.
Because he gets mad.
Yeah. So I said, let me just chill. And to myself, I'm going to tell you the truth. I said, I know Thurston is going to see this. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let him handle it because he can cover me and him. So you did respond. Y'all, please forgive me. Good evening, my sister Tasha. Good evening, Prophet Karen. Good evening, Shelly Phillips. Good evening to all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't, please share this broadcast tonight. So I shut up. I said, I'm going to let Thurston handle it. And let me tell you, if you don't know this man, if you do not know Stephen Thurston.
Say so. Say so now.
Do
not.
His clapbacks. You can't.
Quick.
He is unbeatable, I'm telling you. And you don't want to battle doctrine and let's not do that with this guy. So mom.
She testifying.
That's what I'm saying, Tasha. You don't want to play with this guy. So you made some comments back to this creep. No, he's not a creep. We're creeps. Right. We can't even call him that. But you said whatever you said, and then I think it was the next day. It possibly was the next day. I saw this mirror moment. How to respond to your critics, which is something that you do weekly.
Yes, every Friday, 3 p.m. Yeah, so mirror moments is something I've been doing for the last, 15 years or so. When Facebook Live first kind of came out, I was forced to do it by friends. And it's my opportunity to share a quick 12 to 15 minutes in the lane of leadership or relationship. Those are the two spaces I work in, function in, flow in. And this was a leadership focused piece on how to respond to critics. I thought it was just the right time to help people who were seeing what was happening and help them to walk through what that looks like on the back end. I got very thick skin. I don't internalize stuff. I'm also a sociologist by degree as well. And so I study and I get off on the patterns and behaviors of human beings. And so the comment section is really just me sharpening my tools when I'm clapping back. I find it funny. It's humorous to me. Because people don't see that, you can be ignorant, but people don't know until you open your mouth. And they don't get that they really could keep scrolling. So people don't have to know how ignorant they are. So
keep scrolling.
Yeah, I just wanted to share and to encourage people and help them through that particular mirror moment if they find themselves in a situation where critics, oftentimes the critics don't have credentials. So critics without credentials, when they're coming at you, I want you to be prepared and equipped on how to respond and how to handle that, how to hold your own and how to move forward.
Critics without credentials.
You heard it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys I'm trying to tell y'all, if you listen, Pastor Thurston made the post about the drag brunch on June 21st. So I know y'all gonna go scrolling through his page, and I say I encourage you to do so because I want you to see the type of people that are coming against what is ministry, because that's what it is. Yeah. I want you to see Christian people coming against him for being a part of this event. Now, like I said, I may have said it offline, but the main guy, Stephen, that was running off at the mouth. Mm-hmm. Pastor John said you are his new favorite person. I think I can agree with you on that one though. He really was just doing all of that, and then he did a live the next day, very disrespectful, very disrespectful. I did not view it, but I did see the title of his live. Mm-hmm. And only one time, Crystal, that I can remember within the past 11, 12 years that I actually wanted to get in my car and go and find him so we could have it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
But instead he called me, Crystal, and I said, don't even get on the stage. It's not even
You should have called me.
Oh.
You should have called me.
I mean, I was fighting mad. And it shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is. And then I see how to respond to your critics.
Yeah.
I get off work at 3:30. You had just started at 3, so I missed the actual live, but as soon as I plugged my phone in my car, I was like, whoop, let's hear what he got to say. And y'all, I was laughing so hard because this man knows what to say. How do you do it with such ease? You will like literally end somebody's life without raising your voice. How do you do that with such ease?
I was with Otis Moss the other day, and he called me the degreed Paul Mooney.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'm a vicious reader. I'm constantly reading and equipping and filling myself with content, so to be able to spit content back out is easy for me. And I never talk about what I don't know about. That's another thing that people kind of miss when they engage with me. I have done thorough, critical research on subjects. My sermons that I preach every Sunday, I spend at least 40 hours a week on that sermon, on that 25 to 30-minute sermon. 40 hours for 30. I'll over prepare. Nobody's going to ever catch me slipping. I completed my entire undergrad degree in 1 year. Wow. You're not going to beat me. I'm smart as shit. You're not going to beat me.
Put your weight on it. I love it.
You can keep trying all you want. This stuff just flows. And so play if you want to. You're going to probably get your feelings hurt. And here's what I know. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And because I don't know everything, when I enter a space where I'm uneducated, I'm not, knowledgeable, I ask more questions than I make statements.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to move to that place. Serena Williams is a friend of mine. I was at Serena's house, I think last summer. She's like, Steven, you want to go outside and play tennis with me? Now, mind you, my mother put me in a tennis class at Chicago State when I was 7 years old. I'm 45. What I look like going out on the court with Serena, that would make no sense for me to go out there thinking I'm about to beat her.
I hear you.
I know how to stay in my lane. And so I want people that just have Sunday school certificates and vacation Bible school stars, gold stars, to stop trying to come at theologians. Like we
I'm
do this
actually going to use
for
that.
real. We do this for real.
Mhm.
I'd study this. I understand the historical cultural context of a text. I know that the word homosexual was not added into the Bible until 1946. I know that what they're talking about in the Bible that you use against Q plus people is really not talking about same gender attraction. It's talking about pederasty. It's talking about sexual violence. So most of the stuff that we're talking about in the text and trying to use it against people, we're reading the Bible anachronistically. We have revisionist history that we're playing with, and we're misreading the Bible through a 21st century Western lens. You have Bible loyalty, but you don't have a lot of Bible literacy. And there is a big difference between the two. You also don't understand that you have not decolonized your faith, and you're pushing identity politics that white people have given to you, because all of our and most of our theology, unless you really work in this space, has been handed down to us rather than being critically gained. Until you unpack this stuff and do the research and do the homework, you're probably not going to be well versed enough to really unpack and deal with the nuance of a 3,000-year-old text.
Yeah.
It's a gospel brunch.
Yeah.
That will have drag queens performing the music.
Yeah.
And they said, Steven, how dare you go where they are?
Yeah.
They are men dressed in women's clothes. How dare you, pastor, go there to where those sinners are? Someone actually low-key said that, paraphrasing, but
Okay.
the same way that they went to see Medea over and over and over again, the same way that they made him a billionaire, Tyler a billionaire, packing their church vans and buses up, taking church trips. If we're honest, we remember we're going to take church trip to go see the play. The same way that they share, and he's an amazing comedian, but not Carlton Banks. The same way they share his videos in drag. You love Martin and Shanae and all. You love drag, so stop doing that.
Yeah.
But let me give context to how this upcoming Sunday came about. There's an organization called Pride in the Pews. Pride in the Pews is a Black-led organization, a new organization, a couple of years old, that focuses on the intersection of the Black church and the Q plus community. They were doing research, got stories from Q plus people about the hurt and harm that they experience in church and how we can make churches safe spaces. So they brought me on as a consultant to bring other straight identified pastors to the table so that we could create safe spaces for pastors to have conversations, raise questions. You want to learn about pronouns, what to say, what not to say. You've got Q plus people in your congregation. How do you engage them, address them? Anything you want to know and ask, we want to create that safe space. And so we began doing that work. I had a conversation with Don, the executive director, one night, and I said, listen, man, you a young nonprofit, you all don't have an office space. You need to be centered. He's like, yeah, man, we're trying to get money up to get a space. I said, well, we got an old bookstore in our church building that we haven't used. How about I gut that space out and give that to you as office space for free? He said, you would do that for us? I said, yes, you're doing great work, because you're trying to help churches and pastors not to change their theology, but to at least get them to stop doing harm. And I appreciate that level of sensitivity and work. You ain't trying to change nobody's mind. If they want to be prejudiced, engage in hetero supremacy, because some people say, I'm not a homophobe, but you're a hetero supremacist. That's what you are. So let's do this work. I'm going to bring you into the building, give you space, and we'll partner. And so That organization has partnered with our nonprofit, the Cove Care Foundation, and we do work together around HIV, AIDS, and resources because in the state of Illinois, we get $158 million set aside to do that work to provide resources. But excuse me, Black-led organizations only get 1.2 to 1.4 million of that 150 plus $1 million because
Wow.
all that money goes to the north side to white people. But 57% of the HIV cases in the state of Illinois look like us on the south side and the west side. And so
Wow.
we partner together to do that policy work, to fight that fight, to bring resources to our side of town, to our community. So from there, we continue to do the work. And then the Black Church Equity Fellowship came about. That's where Pride in the Pews received some grant money to engage 10 churches from across the country for a 9-month program. This 9-month program is an extension of what we were doing before in helping them to engage churches to, again, not change anyone's theology, but create safe space for people in the Q plus community and straight identified people to at least have conversation, to raise questions. Nobody feels awkward or stupid for asking or saying. Just create conversation and fellowship. Our church was invited to participate in this new cohort, and so we agreed to do that. That meant we had 9 months to come up with projects that would allow those two communities to intersect and interact with each other. So World AIDS Day was our kickoff, and we did a bunch of stuff. I got tested in the pulpit. A lot of people, a couple of hundred people got tested that day after worship. We had Q plus people, straight identified people, some of everybody in the building. We've opened our space for the Gay Men's Caucus in Chicago to have their meetings here free of charge because our church is for the community. Anybody, everybody who needs space, come on. We got this 40,000 square foot building. Come on in here and do what you got to do. As long as you're trying to help people and change lives, I don't care who you are, come into the building. So that was another piece that we did. We had a conversation Sunday before last about human sexuality in the preaching moment. That was another part of this fellowship program. And then the brunch was another piece, and we'll probably close the year with one more piece. So with the brunch, I'm looking at the overall landscape of the Q plus community. I know there's subsections in there. And so I heard about this organization that's doing the drag brunch. And I'm like, that's a piece that we haven't tapped into, and I've heard nobody else tapping into this group. And so let's have conversation with them. I said, now, I never been to a drag show. Tell me what y'all do. They told me what they did. I said, now, can y'all sing gospel music? They said, Pastor, yeah, we come from the church. We just don't go there no more. I said, okay, I got a bright idea. If y'all sing gospel music for your brunch that's going to be held at Bronzeville Winery, because again, some people don't read. It clearly states on there that it's happening at Bronzeville Winery, not our church. The lead organization has their logo at the top of the logo. If you've ever done this work, the lead is always at the top. Other people who are partnering at the bottom. So that's why you see our church logo down at the bottom. So I need y'all to learn how this thing works from a marketing perspective. Again, don't be a critic without credentials. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring people from our church, invite them to come, as well as people in the larger community that just want to show love. And they were like, no, you really going to do that? I said, yes. We come and we're going to have brunch. We're going to listen to y'all sing songs that we sing every Sunday. And our people are just going to love on you, have fun, laugh, ask questions. You push back, all of that. We're just going to provide a safe space. And this is neutral ground because I know y'all not coming to church. I get it. No problem. So we're going to leave the church after church, and we're gonna come over here and just fellowship with y'all and love on y'all. And so that's how that all that came to be. Ain't nobody preaching, ain't nobody baptizing, ain't nobody trying to cast the spirit out. We're going to have lunch, brunch, listen to some music, show people love. They're gonna go home, we're gonna go home, and hopefully we've made a great impact on somebody's life. And I'll add this one other component for that person that skipped their IEP that you were talking about a second ago that's caused all this drama. His initial comment was, oh, they paying you to push an agenda. For 9 months for this fellowship is $4,000 that our church gets. Let me help you to put that in context. It costs me at the minimum $100,000 a month to run New Covenant. That's without me getting a salary. I do not take a salary from New Covenant. The past almost year that I've been in this role as pastor of a multi-million-dollar facility, I haven't gotten a salary. So tell me what the hell $4,000 is going to do for $100,000 a month minimum. And that's not including a salary for the pastor. I ain't doing this for money. I'm doing this because Jesus did it. He went out to people. If you read the text, not white Jesus, but the historical, cultural Jesus, he broke every boundary, every barrier, everything that was set in society. He went against it. I really need y'all to understand Greco-Roman culture and how radical and reckless Jesus was in what he did and reaching out to everybody. The greatest commandment, Jesus said, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. Put no definitions around neighbor because everybody ought to be our neighbor. And at the Cove, everybody is our neighbor. We French. It's we around here, not us and them, but we. We love everybody. We expose everybody to the gospel of Jesus, and we don't colonize people. We evangelize people, and we evangelize people by embodying the love of Jesus as we serve as the hands and the feet of Jesus. I ain't got to beat you with scripture. I just got to live out scripture, and that ought to draw you into a man named Jesus. You about to put me in E flat. I'm about to go there.
Everything that we do, this has been really on me the past couple of months or so. Everything that we do should point people back to him.
That's it.
And there is just a way to do that. There's a way to do it. And the way to do that is not by browbeating. Yes, that's good. And excluding certain individuals. I love everybody except you because you're like that.
Yeah.
You know, I saw, I think it was Prophetess Karen on another post, Stephen say, you know, like people are hating on this. Some of the people hating on this are the same people that have a wife and sleeping with 3 other women in the same congregation. These are people who have their own sexual identities. They're kind of on the fence about their own. These are some men who are low key living the lifestyle themselves while married with children, but yet they're coming, you know, at you, coming for you because you're a part of this. And it's just really crazy to me because at the end of the day, I still say that the love of God is for all men.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's for all people, no matter what you do, no matter what you've done, no matter how far you've gone. You have to know that God's love is still available. And if I said it before, if they don't come to your little church, there's somebody in the church who cares enough about them to say, cool, you ain't got to come. I'll go to you.
Yeah, because we're told that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They'll know we're Christians by our love.
There it is.
Bottom line.
There it is.
And again, I've had the testimony of people in my church who've been here for years, and I don't know all of their family dynamics, but they've come to me saying, Pastor, I've reestablished relationship with my niece, my nephew, my cousin, who's queer, who's Q+, because you've taught me to see beyond all of that other stuff and see them as a human being, as being created in the image of God. I rekindled relationship, and thank you for doing that. We hadn't talked in 15 years, but your preaching has led me back into relationship with you.
Yes.
And now, then the next Sunday, I brought him to church with me.
Look.
And so, you know, all of that is happening. And so I could give a damn about what outside people are saying. You ain't paying this damn mortgage over here. You ain't contributing to that $100,000 a month I got to pay. The sacrifice I'm making, not taking the salary, I can give shit what you got to say. I'm going to keep doing what God called us to do. And it may not be how you are called to function. That's fine. The vineyard is large. I don't care what you do over there. If I can help you, great. But I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to criticize you. I'm just going to keep doing the work that I've been called to do. And I'm not going to demonize what you do because it's different. Different doesn't mean deficient. It just means different. Yeah. You got your way to meeting people's need, and I got the crowd that's going to hear my voice, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And hopefully we on the same page. I can't tell with you hating and you trying to send so many people to hell. Hell is a whole nother conversation, how you get there. But I don't understand. I don't understand why you can't see we on the same page and we're trying to work the same work.
Yeah, Tasha Shields says, I get asked a lot how I feel being an evangelist, and my daughter is part of the Q plus community? My reply is she is still my child. My love won't change.
That's right.
And to that, let me put that back on the screen. To that, I want to say this, that those of us who are part of fivefold ministry, your voice matters in situations like this, because like I said earlier, many of our family members, whatever, are part of this community. And if you bear minister, elder, pastor, apostle, prophet, event, if you bear that title and you low-key hate them because of the way that they are, nothing about that says I want you to know Jesus. Nothing about it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
All they can, and I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah.
All they feel is you hate me. I'm not loved. That listen to me. Listen to me. I'm telling you, that's what they feel. That's what they feel. That's why many are prone to suicide. Because a lot of times, y'all, they just want to be loved.
That's it.
And if we preach about a love of Christ, how dare you, with no uncertain terms, tell people that what Christ did on Calvary was for everybody except them? You're lying. Because it was for them. It was for them too, just like it was for me, just like it was for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
We have got, and Stephen, the church, I really, really don't like this about the church. Since I was a kid, I've seen it. You can be a liar. You can be an alcoholic. You can be a fornicator, adulterer. You can rape somebody. You can murder somebody. They will accept you with all of that, but don't you dare be a same gender loving.
That's right. It's the weirdest stuff.
To me.
Man. It's a sad situation. The cognitive dissonance that we engaged in. We love to commodify queer people in the church, but not love them. We'll use them for their gifts and talents and abilities, but won't recognize their humanity.
Whoa.
We'll sing the songs that they wrote. We'll let them play our instruments. We'll go to their conferences and get loosed.
So again, let me put this back on the screen then. That is hypocrisy.
It's hypocrisy. Yeah. And it's selective outrage. Like
selective outrage.
Yeah.
So if you support Tyler Perry, then you should not have a problem with drag queens at a brunch, because a lot of Tyler Perry's songs are inspirational in his plays. He has gospel artists in his plays. And I will tell you, one of my go-tos when I can't find nothing else to watch is Medea's Big Happy Family, the play. Y'all know what the one where the lady, she got cancer and she died? Y'all like that? That's my go-to right there. I love it. Tasha says, good evening, Minister Sandy. Glad you're here. Tasha says that's why they don't want to go to church. Judgmental folks, and sad but true. They won't say nothing, but bet not be loving who you love. All right. Selective outrage. Hey, Tam, that is it. Selective outrage. He said it there. Let me show this to you guys. Many of you that may not know what we are talking about, I want you to see it for yourself. Here it is right here. This is why Pastor Thurston is getting raked over the coals by non-factors, because of this right here. You can see at the top in the center, it is not hosted by Stephen Thurston or the Cub. It is hosted by Pride in the Pews. All right. So, I mean, what else can you say? It's at Bronzeville Winery, as he stated. Nothing else needs to be said about that. People just don't read, just like he said. My mama said, like you all said, there are a lot of hypocrites out there, period, point blank. And a hypocrite is a play actor. They act like they love you. but they really, really don't. So it's almost 8 o'clock. Coach, Doctor, you all have any questions for Dr. Thurston?
Absolutely not a one. I think that
I'm
he
clear.
did the I's and crossed all the T's, and
Yeah. I'm clear.
yeah, we're clear.
I feel smarter.
Yes.
Coach, me too, because he said a lot of words I can't even spell, but I like it.
Lord.
And I'm going to write them down.
Listen, you guys, we are absolutely not going to keep you tonight, but we wanted, after I saw this and I saw, the backlash that Pastor Thurston had, and again, I have a place in my heart for the community. I wanted him to come on and just to talk to us about this, because maybe I learned many years ago from Bishop Jeff Davis the dynamics of another voice. Maybe it'll take somebody else that you're unfamiliar with to speak to you about a certain topic that may open your eyes or widen your spectrum to a topic or a subject. And so therefore we have Mr. Dr. Pastor Stephen Thurston to do that. And I know, because I know my mama. I know my mama, she enjoys every one of my shows. But I know she especially liked this one tonight. And the reason I say that is because my mother is like you, Pastor Thurston. She does not bite her tongue at all.
Yes, sir.
And I was laughing to myself. I said, because Crystal, y'all know Mama be the one to bed by this time.
Absolutely.
She will put in the comments, all right, y'all, I'm gone. Good night.
Yeah.
She stayed on tonight, though.
Hanging in there.
She says, I'm good because I love all people, whether they're gay, straight, crooked, or whatever.
I love it. Thank you for hanging with us tonight.
So you guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight to just listen to this great, great man. I suggest you go and follow him on social media. If you don't friend him, at least follow him, because he really posts some stuff, man, that will really make you think. It'll make you think, and it'll make you laugh too.
That's it.
If there is anything known or not known to us in these social media streets, I hereby, on July 1st, 2024, deem you, Stephen Thurston, the clapback king.
Thank you, sir. Hey, look, Jesus did the same thing. If we would stop super spiritualizing Jesus, Jesus clapped back like never before. I'm just following Jesus.
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget, next week we will not be on Monday. We will be on Tuesday, because it's my 50th birthday, and I will be sending out invitations to so many people, just so you can stop by for 2-3 minutes to share a kind word and give an offering, praise the Lord, to your boy. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Pastor Stephen Thurston, thank you so much. You guys, before I let you go, let me tell you the conversation that happened between he and I. I feel a little, iffy about reaching out to certain people about coming on the show, and clearly I have to stop that, because in me talking to him, I said, man, I kind of, I want you to come on, but I know you a celebrity, and you busy, and he was like, man, I ain't no celebrity. Give me the link to the show. And that means a lot to me, because people of your stature have many other things that they could be doing. So truly, from myself, from Dr. Nancy, from Coach Crystal, we appreciate you for taking time to come to the Self-Checkout Show.
Hey, I'm honored y'all would invite me. Anytime somebody invites you to a space, it's an humbling experience. So thank you all.
Pastor Thurston, I'll give you the last word. If you could say anything to other pastors like you to encourage them to look outside of what is normal ministry or normal church, give them a word and we're out of here.
Cool. Listen, people's humanity should always supersede your theology. And whenever your ideology is elevated over actual humans who bear the image of God, your ideology is now idolatry. Wow. Keep fighting the good fight. Utilize your power, your voice, and your platform to lift marginalized people. Follow the model that Jesus set. It's nothing deep. It's nothing hard. Jesus was super simple. He gives us the greatest commandment in Matthew 22. Follow that. And for those of you who are very white-centered and actually Pauline rather than Christian, Jesus should inform your Paul rather than Paul informing your Jesus. I pray that you would go and do the work that Jesus called you to do, the way that Jesus did it. Follow his nature, and you'll make impact on this world.
Amen.
There you have it. We're out of here. I guarantee you'll see him again on this platform. For Pastor Thurston, Dr. Nancy, Coach Crystal, I'm Pastor Will. This is the Self-Checkout Show, your favorite Christian talk show. We'll see you next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night.